Welcome back, everyone. This is Super Kelly Brothers. My name's Sloan Kelly.
My name's Jodie Kelly.
And my name is James Baker.
And we're going to talk about my top 10 robots, cyborgs, droids, and androids today. So, let's get started then. I'm going to go with, at number 10, David 8 from Prometheus.
Oh, very good.
It followed on from the tradition of Ian Holm as Ash and Lance Henriksen as Bishop.
Not Henrik Larsson.
Not Henrik Larsson. No. That's a different robot.
Oh, is that a different robot?
It's a different robot.
Football bot.
Footbot.
Do you know, so I only say that because sometimes I actually do get mixed up. That's Henrik Larsson. Sorry.
It's the same name. It's just people just jumbled it up, and then it's like Yahtzee, word Yahtzee. Following on from that tradition of that creepy, he's been programmed by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation to be basically evil because his dad is evil, and his dad wants like all the money.
Isn't it to be evil, is it?
He's not. I mean, I guess he comes
protective of the corporation, the whole project or whatever. You know?
Yeah. But in that he has a singular. It's the same as Ash.
Objective.
It's a singular objective, and the sort of meat puppets that work around him are secondary to that mission.
Yeah.
And so
he doesn't care.
Yeah, and because he's a synthetic life form, he just has this kind of creepy nature about himself. Like the opening bit where he obsesses over Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, I love
I
that
just
bit.
found that creepy. I don't know what it was, but it just this.
Yeah. Combing his hair and all that.
Yeah, just this weird thing that like trying to look like Peter O'Toole, and just I don't know.
Yeah.
It was all kind of weird and creepy.
And repeating the lines from the movie.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. And I think the only reason that he kept what's her face? Oh God, what is her name? Naomi Rapace alive is so that he could like bargain with her later on when he got to the other planet. Just a horrible character, like a great character, but motivations were horrible. Again, it's the whole what makes a good bad guy is the believability of them. Like
definitely,
you can see their motives, and you understand their motives. As twisted as they are, you understand that there's a good logic behind it, but you still get creeped out by that character.
And Fassbender is amazing.
He's brilliant. Yeah. He's
one of my favorite roles. Not just for him, but just one of my favorite roles. It made me like him all the more because he'd done that.
Yeah, I think for me, Fassbender in that role and in Inglourious Bastards are his two iconic. And X-Men. He's in X-Men as well.
He is, yeah.
Three iconic.
He's in Assassin's Creed as well.
Four. No, sorry.
Three.
Pull back.
Let's stick at 3.
No one liked Assassin's Creed? No, anyone? Just me? No.
I'll tell you what, I loved Prometheus. I thought it was a great thing, and they set it up brilliantly, and then they messed it up
royally.
Following
I haven't actually seen Covenant. Covenant? Is that the sequel to it?
It just goes back to kind of formulaic alien movie stuff. Unfortunately, the stuff that they set up in Prometheus, I thought was fantastic, and but they kind of shat it, to use a
technical term,
Scottish term.
Sorry, I love Covenant.
Really?
Make no apologies for it. I think
thought it was predictable.
It felt more so. Prometheus felt more science fictiony, and when I saw the trailers for Covenant, I was like, "Oh, that's more horror movie," and I'm not a big fan of horror movies.
No, I get it. That's probably why I liked it, actually, because it was tense and thrilling, and I'm not saying it was thrilling, quite a horror.
I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I'm just saying it was a bit more predictable than Prometheus was. Prometheus kind of set up something a bit more interesting, a bit more kind of sci-fi, and then they went back to the kind of horror genre like Sloan's getting, you know. Do you know what I mean?
Safe. That's safe.
Little bit safe, yeah.
It
was
you
a
would
little
have
bit,
won.
definitely a bit too safe. Anyway, sorry.
Good choice.
You want a pool table.
Great choice.
Great.
Or a speedboat that you can't use.
How am I going to fit that in a balcony in my flat?
Bit of bully.
Out of the black and out of the red and into the black. You don't get nothing but two in a bed. Whatever it was.
Christ.
Wrong line. But anyway, number 9, Nexus 6. I couldn't separate them all, but the entire Nexus 6 line was awesome. So Roy Batty and Rachel from Blade Runner. That whole speech.
We're going to overlap here.
It was improvised by Rutger Hauer, apparently. If that's it.
Yeah, I know.
The Tears in the Rain and the firefight over Orion's belt and all that kind of stuff. Just a great character. And Pris, her interactions with Sebastian and just amazing characters. And again, that whole motivation of they wanted to live, and you could see that was the reason for moving through the world, was to carve out an existence for themselves, and it was believable, and it was they were fighting to survive as these sort of synthetic beings. Just great all round, fantastic.
You've not seen Blade Runner, James, have you?
No, I'm not a Blade Runner guy, and I really should, but it's just not. I just haven't watched it. Just haven't seen it, and every time I try and watch it, and it doesn't even suffer from, have you seen that film? It's brilliant, and then I kind of maybe deliberately don't see it because so many people are saying it is. It doesn't even suffer from that. I don't know what it is. I should. Listen, I promise before the year's out.
Right, do that. That's your homework.
That's my homework. Before the year's out, I'll write it up.
All right, moving along then. Number 8, RoboCop.
Yep.
He's the cop that cannot be stopped. He's RoboCop.
There's a rap in there.
Definitely. Per Murphy. There's a rip in there.
A rap.
A rap in there. There is a rap in there.
An 80s kind of rap. He's a cop that cannot be stopped.
Again, it's that kind of. So RoboCop, I guess, is a cyborg as opposed to a droid or a robot or an android.
What's the difference?
Cyborg is like the Borg.
Asking for a friend.
It's more like an enhanced human than anything else. Basically, all the mechanics of the human is still there. So the walking and all that kind of the skeletal stuff is all there, but they're enhanced in some kind of way. They've got, their eyes are better, or they've got a weapon.
But it's a kind of representation of a human being. Is that what you're saying?
They're part machine, part man. That's the definition of a cyborg.
So I was thinking about this, right? And I was thinking about how we're going to make our list up, because do you include AI? What defines a cyborg? My own personal definition of what a cyborg is if it's, the Iron Man has this thing that keeps his heart alive, or he keeps it's implanted in him, but I don't class him as a cyborg. Darth Vader has all this equipment to keep him alive, but I don't class him as a cyborg. What I class as a cyborg is something that if it interferes or interconnects with something in your brain, and if it helps you, if it helps your thought process, and even if that's the only thing that it does, that makes you a cyborg. If it's brain related,
So Lobot from Empire Strikes Back.
So Lobot,
Lando's pal.
He's a cyborg, but Darth Vader, I would say, is not,
because he's just got mechanical legs.
Yeah,
he's just basically got a
breathing apparatus.
Yeah, it's a big inhaler.
It's a fancy
massive
diving
inhaler,
suit.
I heard.
Anyway, so RoboCop, because it's RoboCop, and I had to get some cyborg in there because I thought it'd be fun to have a cyborg. And I think RoboCop is a cyborg because he's got the bit at the start where he does the tracking thing. And I love this guy. That bit. So he does have cyborg-y type parts. Also, it's one of my favorite Paul Verhoeven movies as well. RoboCop.
He's got a few, though. He's got a few crackers.
He does have a few, yeah.
It was really bloody.
Yeah, it was
Was
really.
RoboCop, and I'm sure there's another version out there. I remember reading Fangoria at the time, and it was all about this other cut that wasn't available in the UK, or maybe even wasn't available at all, where the part where he gets murdered by everyone was meant to be far, far more graphic, but
It's pretty graphic, the version I saw, where they were pointing shotguns at his limbs, like point blank, and blasting them away, and then that would like
all of his film. I mean, Starship Troopers and all that were pretty violent as well.
It wouldn't be liking to be fairly graphic and controversial.
Showgirls is just graphic and controversial, and
I might need to watch that as a bit of homework.
Aye,
as well.
The swimming pool scene, I highly recommend.
What, in RoboCop?
And the Showgirls we're talking about.
All right, okay.
One of his other movies, and the queue of girls and say before they're going on stage, and he says, "Last chance for ice." As in,
Aye.
I think you know.
I think I know.
Moving along, number 7, the gunslinger from Westworld.
Oh, Yul Brynner.
Terrified me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I watched that movie when I was like 8 or something, and
him in my list.
When you think about it, the original Terminator, because he kept coming, and he did that slow walk. He didn't run. He just did the straight towards them, and then his face get taken off at one point. It was just the robot eyes in there.
That's horrific.
It is, yeah. And when you're 8 years of age and you hide behind, your fingers and going like that, it's
and your younger brother.
Yeah. And like he only had, Yul Brynner, King of Siam and all that kind of stuff. He only had like 4 lines in the whole thing, and I think they were all variants of draw. Or things like that.
Yeah.
Aye.
Terrifying.
He's the Man in Black, isn't he?
Yeah. They replaced him with Ed Harris, his character in.
Who isn't a robot?
Isn't he? No, he's not.
Oh,
I'm only kidding. He's not.
No, he's not.
Isn't he though?
We'll not go into spoilers for that because that's quite a lot of twists and turns in Westworld.
Is it going to be your comeback?
Did you watch Westworld, James?
I watched Westworld. I do. I haven't watched the third season.
Right. Okay.
I haven't watched the third season yet. But
he's not spoiling it. Don't worry.
Right.
Aye, me too. But your Michael Hutchins impression?
Oft.
Come on. Too soon. Lieutenant Commander Data, because I know technically he's TV, but he was in a few movies. That's how I got this through. Because it is top 10 robots, cyborgs, droids, and androids of the movies, which I never mentioned at the start. Because I missed it out on my little list here. Commander Data, just because he had that kind of childlike,
innocence,
curiosity, innocence. But he was also lieutenant commander. He also commanded subordinates, and he was able to like turn off that charm and get down to business. And I always liked Data. I always had a kind of soft spot for him. Unlike Picard, who tried to kill his daughter, put him on trial, and did all these kind of things. But apparently, in the remake, the Picard thing, they were best of friends, which of course is, if you're an actual Star Trek fan, is BS. They were work colleagues. They weren't best of friends. They didn't hang out together.
Although there was, I can't remember what the name of the episode. I think it was maybe season 4, season 5 of The Next Generation. Sorry, I know we're meant to be movies. Where it was like I can't remember the name of the episode. It was something like The Trial of a Man. It was a really, really great data-centric episode where Picard totally, actually, even though all the stuff happened that you were talking about, Sloan, he actually was just like, do you know what? No, I'm going to put my neck on the line for him because I truly believe in him and what he stands for.
Yeah, I think it was.
And they were wanting to decommission him, basically.
Yeah, because he, despite the fact that he'd tried to kill off his the whole problems with Soong and all this kind of stuff. he tried to kill off his daughter. When this guy, I think it's Maddox, Admiral Maddox, comes on board and goes like he's nothing more than a tinker toy, and let's cut him apart and find out how he works. He's like, he's not a toy, he's a human being.
I know.
And he's, I will defend you.
I've got my interested in Star Trek face on.
I know, right, see that, yeah. Jodie's currently glazing over like. All right, I'll move on then. So, up until now, my list is actually in two parts.
Sorry.
So the first part is sort of anthropomorphic things, and the next part is actually sort of how I feel robots will actually go. The closest we are to what robots will actually become.
I like it.
So the first one is actually a cartoon. It's Wall-E, because the first half of that movie is like a National Geographic documentary about this little robot who is programmed to tidy up the planet, and he's the last of his kind, and he's just going and all this kind of stuff, and he's got a little cockroach friend that he takes care of and he worries about. And he's got this kind of weird affinity with Hello Dolly for some reason. I mean, he's maybe seen, he's maybe seen like teleplays of some others do have him or something. He's like, I like Michael Crawford. Whatever it is. Maybe he does. Maybe he's got Reed Beret. He's got.
I personally always found that quite jarring. When that
really
when that kept on popping up. Yeah, I guess in a good way. I mean, I don't know if jarring actually should be the right answer, but. Jarring in a good way, if that is
kind of anachronistic kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I liked it.
I just liked the fact he was this little guy and he was just getting about his business, and he was happy enough doing that, and then Eva appeared and his entire life got flipped around, and he didn't know which way he was up.
I think the first half of that movie is utter perfection.
Do you know the thing is, I don't think I've seen the second half of that movie more than once.
I agree. I think I've watched it the first half, and then the second half they seem to kind of bottle it a little bit, and they go a wee bit kind of
humanly,
the humans, and a bit kind of environmental. I know it's all about that anyway, but. They just go a bit full on with the old Disney, a bit Disneyfied. Whereas the first bit's quite edgy.
Yeah,
I also think despite all the stuff that Wall-E does and his non-interaction with any other living creature apart from the cockroach, he is all the human you need in that.
Yeah,
you feel all the emotions.
Yeah. And let's not forget,
it's kind of weird.
There's zero dialogue in that first half of that movie, and it works perfectly.
Nice.
Some of the most perfect cinematic moments. There's zero. It's a silent movie.
I think the best part, definitely the best parts of the second half was when he gets thrown into the kind of big trash area, and you see the much larger versions of him, and then they cut to just all the robot stuff. Actually, all the stuff to do with humans and stuff was all right, but.
It goes a bit Attack of the Clones, doesn't it?
The robot factory. Was it Sigourney Weaver? Was it she the voice of the computer?
Oh, I think she was actually. Yeah.
I think she was. Yeah, I think she was.
Yeah. In fact, the Navicom.
Check it out.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you now.
I kind of
Scarlett Johansson for some reason, but
I kind of also want the computer to be called Mother, but I don't think it was.
That was an alien.
Yeah, I know, but it would be kind of nice the fact that Sigourney Weaver was playing a computer and it was called Mother.
Oh, the computer, sorry, not Eva.
No, just
the Navicom.
Oh, sorry, right, okay, sorry.
I see Jock Ratzenberger was in it, obviously. Ship's voice, Sigourney Weaver.
There you
go. All right, okay,
what a voice.
Yep.
Great voice.
Okay, number 4, Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet.
I knew somebody took that.
Because it's Forbidden Planet, it's the best thing about Forbidden Planet is that robot, and he made a whole bunch of other cameos later on. In fact, I think he was in He was also in Lost in Space with Robot, which was just called Robot. And everyone, including myself, used to get the two of them mixed up, despite the fact they looked completely different.
Well, I nearly said Danger, Will Robinson, and I thought, oh, better be quiet before I make a fool of myself.
Exactly, that was Robot.
I know.
Was that? Did you say that was in Forbidden Planet?
Robbie the Robot was, yeah.
Yeah, but I always used to get mixed up as well. What you're talking about there with that robot and
Danger, Will Robinson.
This one, yeah. Similar design, I don't know.
When did you see Forbidden Planet as a kid? Then
Leslie Nielsen, by the way.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen plays the captain, and the weird thing as well is you can actually see This is where Jodie's eyes glaze over. You can actually see proto Star Trek in there as well. Similar crew, similar uniforms. They go down to a planet that's clearly made of cardboard. It's great, and they interact.
I never thought about that. Actually,
it's a good movie, though.
It's a great movie, and Leslie Nielsen's amazing in it as well as the captain. It's based on William Shakespeare's The Tempest as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's about this magician basically that's trying to do one last trick, and of course in this one it's based on this alien technology, and he's got this mind thing that he's trying to do what he needs to do.
Cool.
So, anyway, so like I said, these are more kind of utilitarian robots, and of course the ultimate utilitarian robot, number 3, R2-D2. How could you not have that cute little astromech on your list? He is
James. How could you not?
Have you seen my list?
No, yet, but I spoke to you on Saturday.
All right. Okay. Anyway,
I forgot.
R2-D2.
I'm always drunk when I'm talking about robots.
chucking wood in your fire pit. Yes, I agree, Sloan. Carry on.
R2-D2, part answering machine, voice recorder, saw. He's the Swiss Army knife of astromechs, and of course he's a great navigator because he has the star charts inside him, because that's what the astromechs are used for. Is they basically are the mechanic and the navigator of starships, and that was the reason why they were built, is they could take those things and then plug them in. They were modular. And he had a huge, big personality. You could tell how R2-D2 was thinking just by the beeps and the boops. And what more?
He didn't need to speak his language.
No, he didn't. You could tell he was pissed off, or he was happy, or he was sad, because you would go,
lovable droid.
How did he go, Sloan? What did he say? I thought his relationship with Luke was just brilliant. I always liked that kind of robot-human relationship.
Yeah,
and I thought his relationship with him was superb. And I liked his going back to the Phantom Menace. You know, when you first seen him, and the impact, despite the Phantom Menace being a kind of questionably good film, but when you first seen him, that was a fairly exciting moment where he had to go back out. He actually went outside, and his purpose was to repair the ship. You know, and I just thought that's quite exciting. I quite liked his introduction in the Phantom Menace. But I agree. I think his best guys is on Jabba's sail barge. You know, and he's like
as the waiter.
As the waiter,
I would love that in the house.
A working one,
sitting as a drinks cabinet, you know, and then it kind of comes towards you and gives you a beer.
I do like R2.
Yeah.
And
it was great as well. So he also had a USB port as well on him, because that's effectively the Star Wars equivalent of the USB port. Although
he effectively
never had to flip it upside down.
Every single his wee probe came out, and he had sex with every single computer that he could get his hands on. Dirty little bastard.
Moving along.
No, but what you were saying, James, there was in Phantom Menace. That was the first time we really saw him. What he was actually, his purpose was, it was there on.
To fix he was built for that.
And to
and he went out onto the hull of the ship in space.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like that.
Number 2, the mouse droid.
Bap, 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 bap.
Bap, bap, bap,
Bap, bap, bap,
bap, bap, bap, bap.
I love it.
that little thing.
I love the noise, actually. I love that
is
noise.
my favourite
Very
tiny
cute.
little droid. Just a bap, 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 bap.
My two favourite
So good.
My two favourite noises in Star Wars droids are and the probe droid and the Empire Strikes Back. No.
The one that on Hoth.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. It's transmitting back. Yeah.
Like that, and it's like transmitting some sort of.
Yeah. Do you know, Shadow, is it, what the hell is it called? I can't remember what it's called, but if you go to the Void, and there's the Star Wars, you know, the Void's that virtual reality thing where you get the pad and all that kind of stuff, the helmet and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. So you play as a rebel spy dressed as a stormtrooper. And the weird thing is they only give you the vest thing and the helmet. They don't give you anything else. So when you're walking into the environment, that's all you've got is just, I mean, obviously you're fully dressed as well. You're not going to naked. Take pictures of you. You won't know.
Okay.
Helmet down. Anyhow, but you put your hand out in front of you and you've got a stormtrooper glove and you go like that. It is truly amazing. Good.
I don't think we can get that here. Is that in London?
Is it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it might. It's either in London or it's coming to London.
Okay.
Not this year.
No, not in 2020. Certainly.
Aye. Goodbye, 2020.
Anyway, when you first get into the Imperial base, you get met by a little mouse droid.
Oh, mouse droid.
From you. And it's so good.
See you. Actually,
I was like, that's awesome.
It also makes an appearance in The Mandalorian.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Yeah.
And the prisoner.
Yep.
Yeah.
The prisoner transport.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I love those wee bits.
Yeah.
Those little.
Good choice.
Yeah, I love those little kind of cameos of you know, Silicious Crumb and stuff. And
definitely getting roasted. Yeah.
And his wee pal sitting in the cage watching, going, shit, I'm next.
I know.
I love it.
Okay. I love the ideas, because this is back to the 1970s notion of how we get data across large places. They didn't think about, Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. So these things are basically little data nodes that go around the place and they pick up data and then they take it back to wherever it is. I just like that idea of this mouse data collection device. Number 1 for me.
Right. I'm just getting myself
drum
ready.
roll. Brace yourself.
Hold on a second. I've got some drink here. Right, go.
I don't. Shit.
It's actually a dual number 1. Tars and Case from Interstellar. I love those guys. As soon as I saw them. What?
Yeah, you know it.
Right, everybody calm down.
I love those guys more.
Do you? Tars and Case because
section's going to be a lot shorter.
They're the perfect utilitarian robot. This is what we're getting, folks.
I knew, Sloan, sorry to interrupt you again. I'm a little bit angry, but I knew when you said my bottom five is going to be this, and you described it, and I was like, all he means is Tars and Case. That's actually what he means. He's ruining my bet. I agree. I totally agree.
Oh,
sorry. Man. Anyway, that's my list.
They're amazing. They're amazing robots.
Because I think the bottom or the top 5, whatever one you want to call it, that's what we build robots for. We build robots for doing tedious work.
Yeah.
And what better than Tars and Case? Hey, Tars and Case is basically the rectangular version of R2-D2.
Thing is, right,
And by the way,
See the
rectangular is easier to build than R2D2, so that's why we're
that's
going
what
to
I was going to say. See, design wise,
Mhm.
you know, it kind of you're like, how's that going to work? And then when it starts moving, and you're like,
I just love
great.
the fact that
That's great.
the TARS or case, I can't remember which one it is. They're basically the center console in the
Aye.
spaceship.
Because blink and you'll miss them. You might
Yeah.
not actually see that they're there, and they're being so
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they're always there, and they're the perfect companion for that mission.
It's quite jarring when they first discover that hidden base, and is it Coop? Is that McConaughey's
Coop,
character's name?
Mhm.
So he's just woken up and he's been held, not prisoner, but he's certainly been held somewhere.
Mhm.
And it's either TARS case or Kip, I can't remember which one it was. They're there and they're intimidating, but you think he's speaking to like a computer screen up in the wall, but he's not. He's speaking to one of them, and he knows exactly what they are.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, they're part of the Marine Corps, so there must have been like a whole Marine Corps full of these, robots.
Yeah.
And it all of a sudden this wall comes to life, and you're like, oh, that's fairly intimidating. Actually quite intimidating. And I just think they're brilliant. Sacrificial. If you sacrifice happily your existence for the human, process, then that you've won my heart totally.
Yeah. Great design.
And it's a great design, especially like the whole escaping the massive
wave
tsunami thing.
Yeah.
That's
very
amazing.
off the wall design as well. It's very unusual. It's not like
it's a proper
not
Nolan.
Really. Aye, it's very stripped down and very practical.
Yeah, and from a puppeteer point of view, super practical as well, because they would basically get them in the scene, and there's like guys walking behind them. As well.
Yeah.
And when Coop was trying to save Brandon, she was like, "Oh, no, just it won't happen, or you can't get me, you can't save me." And he was just like, "No, we can do this." Although they set them back quite a bit of time, but he still managed to save her. Just amazing. Just very, very good. And they also respected them so much. Like there was the part where they met. They were on that other planet. What was the planet with the ice clouds? Who did they meet?
Oh,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon's
character.
Yeah.
So
Matt Damon's in everything, including a planet thousands and thousands of light years away.
Well, I know. Stuck in Mars as well for a while.
I know.
The Martian.
It was.
Just constantly stuck in planets.
But Coop was like, "Is TARS aboard?" Or like, "Let me know when TARS is aboard." So they just absolutely got it. There was like a teammate. I would agree with you. Amazing.
So yeah, that's it. That's my top 10.
Thanks, Sloan. That was a good one.
Nice one.
Anyway,
You've ruined our top 10s, but that's fine.
Or have I? Tune into the next one, and it will either be James or Jodie. I'm not quite sure which one. We haven't flipped the coin yet. But anyway, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you really like the video, you can subscribe and get that notification bell and get timely reminders of when we post up another video. But thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Cool. Cheers.